Hello Commanders, and welcome to our second Twitch stream. Thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you very much for your questions. I have tonight with me a very special guest, Mr. Brookes. Michael, do you want to introduce yourself?
I think most of you know me already. I'm Micheal Brookes. I'm an executive producer on Elite Dangerous. And yeah, thanks for all your questions. We'll be going through them as Adam plays through the build.
Yeah.
And yeah, let's get down to it.
Let's get down to it. So we're going to head straight into the gameplay. We're going to be showing off some of the highlights of Alpha 3.0 tonight for you guys. So I'm going to be doing some of the cargo scooping. I'm going to be doing some outfitting in the station and docking as well, of course. Upgrading my ship, buying new ships, and just generally having a fly around the different scenarios. So let's get straight into it. So I've preloaded up into the asteroid belt, where we have some AI miners, and they're taking some of the minerals and things from the various asteroids that we've got here. So I've already kitted my ship out with a cargo scanner, which I'm just going to put on one of my fire groups. Let's put that on the second one. Deploy them. Switch to my cargo scanner.
He's using an X52 Pro.
Yeah, so I'm using the same flight stick that I did, if we've got any return viewers, that I used last time. I'm not going to go after the Anaconda, because he's trouble, and I'm only one guy, so I'm not going to go after him. It's worth noting as well, I think some of you guys are expecting me to be on the live servers. I'm not. We're closed tonight, because I know that as soon as I appear in the live servers, I think everyone's going to come and attack me. So for demo reasons, we're on our own closed server. So let's have a look at this Sidewinder, Doolittle. Let's see what he's got in his cargo hold. I'm just out of range at the moment, so we just need to fly over to him for a little bit longer. Just coming in just under 1,000 meters, so we're going to start the scan. Let's see what he's got on board, see if we've got any
So we just had a question about whether Sidewinders are typically used for mining. So most ships can be adapted for a mining role. Sidewinders wouldn't generally be used for most mining, but for little sort of stealth mining and rogue mining operations, they can sneak in, get some precious metals and sneak off.
Yeah, so this Sidewinder here, he had some industrial materials in his hold. We had three canisters, so I'm gonna become a pirate. That's my choice today. I'm going to attack him. He's going to try and get away. The miners aren't they're not great combatants. They mostly just try and get away from me. But we're not going to let that happen. I'm going to put some power to my weapons because they're overheating quite quickly. He's trying to boost away. But we've got his shields down. Just power back slightly so we can turn in on him. This isn't the most efficient way to be a pirate. If I was really skillful, which is quite hard with these small and nimble ships, I could sub-target his cargo hatch and then cause that to malfunction and eject some cargo from his hatch, from his hold, which I could then scoop it up without having to go through the rigmarole of actually committing a murder crime and getting an even larger bounty on my head that I'm already going to have.
So one of the things for Alpha 4 is that we're going to have AIs capable of piracy. So as you already know, there's going to be supercruise, which allows you to travel across the interiors of systems at, quite frankly, ridiculous speeds. But while you're flying along, you can be interdicted. So that basically means that you can get pulled out of supercruise and you can encounter pirates and bounty hunters or even traders, or so out in the depths of space you get to meet people.
So I have got rid of that guy. I'm going to deploy my cargo scoop. We've got one canister, so blowing them up isn't like I was saying before, it's the most efficient way, because you do take the risk of destroying some of the cargo as the ship explodes as well. Let's get the cargo canister lined up. It's always a bit trickier when their cargo's actually still got a little bit of velocity on it. That's looking good. Oh, we had a bounce. There we go, we got it.
Nice. So again, one of the other improvements is that you can sort of demand piracy, and they can surrender cargo, which is a bit more like the final design than what we have in the 3.4 build here. And as you see, some of you have already seen the latest newsletter and had the mention of the procedurally generated backgrounds. The aim is to get that in for Alpha 4 as well. So we've been testing it at the moment. So one of the key systems is iBootis, or 44 Bootis, depending on which catalogue you use. And so the star fields will be generated based on those locations.
So I've only got one piece of cargo in my hold at the moment, so I'm gonna be as efficient as I can as a pirate and not go jumping back to the starport just yet. I'm going to try and get some more cargo to make this run as profitable as I can. My bounty currently is 600 credits, at which point, if this was the live servers, I wouldn't be here anymore. I'm sure you great bounty hunters out there would have great fun in hunting me down and claiming the bounty that's on my head. So we've got his shields down 43% almost. His shields are recharging those, so that's a bit bad. I'd like to say, I think some of you guys know already that my preferred choice is to be a bounty hunter myself. I think I'm on record saying that I enjoy being a bounty hunter, but I like also to have a choice, which is what Elite is all about. And tonight I'm going to be a pirate. Let's get this last guy. There we go. Here he comes in my sights. Quite a bit of shields to get through.
So question just popped up about, it seems targeting subsystems mainly in the cargo drops more canisters with multi-cannons than lasers. That's probably about correct, as multi-cannons do more penetrative damage than lasers do. So one of the key things is that you can use different weapons to provide different advantages. So multi-cannons are good at smashing through armour, lasers are good at draining shields. Missiles do massive sort of area damage, so yeah, it's a case of picking the right weapons for the right job.
Ooh, we're coming in a bit low for this one. There we go. So let's take another look at my cargo hold. 2 stolen industrial mineral canisters, so I'm going to make the decision that I'm going to jump out of here. So let's select the starport and engage my hyperdrive.
So that's another big thing that will be changing for Alpha 4, is that we'll have our initial pass on the actual hyperspace effects rather than the rotating sidewinder, which I'm sure some of you are excited to see. Right, so while we're loading up the next area, let me have a look at my list of questions. So they're not in any particular order that I'm aware of. Somebody's just kindly printed them off for me. So I'll do the first couple. The first question I have here is from Startux. So, colonized space will slowly expand, but how will each new system choose its allegiance? So essentially, we'll be designing that. So we can manually input events. These include things like colonization of new systems, famines, wars, even changes of allegiance. So whether a new system is imperial or not is really down to us. However, what will also factor into that is the accumulation of player activities in those regions. So if it's next to Imperial space and there's been a lot of support for Imperial missions and players looking after Imperial interests, then it's quite likely there will be a new Imperial system there. So as well as expanding the sort of frontier and even over long term the core systems, one of the things we do want to support is sort of deep range exploration, which is something that I get asked about later, so I'll leave it there for now. And let me just cover one more question before we hand back to Adam. Let me see. Okay, so we have a question from Micheal Brookes. I have a question about the Alpha 4 stage concerning instancing. So the question basically boils down to, at the moment there's 2 different servers. If you log on to one, you can't play people who are logged on to the other. So certainly for alpha and initial beta stages, that will remain the case. However, we will have a shiny new matchmaking system, and the intent for that is it will match people and then put them on the right server instances. So certainly when you're playing with friends, you'll be on the same server, so you'll be able to play together. So I'm now handing back over to Adam, who is flying into a space station.
I just successfully docked, and that was on the smallest screen that I've ever managed to dock on, so I'm quite impressed with that. So I've got landing pad 1, I've gone through gone through all the docking request protocol, lowered my landing gear. I'm making a nice cautious approach. I normally go a little bit quicker, but I really don't want to mess up tonight, so you're getting cautious Commander A Woods tonight. There we are, we're lined up perfectly. Bring her down nice and gently.
So I'm being asked where my soon t-shirt is. I think I'll save that for when we preview the Alpha 4 build.
That t-shirt is the thing of legends in the office. So we're in the hangar bay now, and I'm going to go to the starport surfaces. There's quite a few options that I've got in here. I can re-arm my current weapons, but as I've got lasers I don't need to re-arm. I can contact the Pilots Federation and for an increased price get rid of my bounty. So I'm going to do that because, as you can see, my balance is quite high because I'm a producer and I can have quite a high balance on a closed network. And I'm going to sell my cargo on the black market. So stolen goods can't be traded on the normal commodities market. It has to be in the black market. So that's what we're going to do here.
And it speaks to the aim for the ultimate aim for the game is that the idea is that we build up networks of contacts throughout the galaxy. So you might find somebody who's very good at tuning lasers, for example, but he's very specific to a certain station. The same way for black market trading. If you're a smuggler, you need to build up a network of contacts to make sure that you're able to sell these goods or get the right missions and so forth. So I think that's quite a big addition to the world of Elite, is building up these personalities that you interact with.
Absolutely. So I'm going to spend a bit of money on some new weapons for my Sidewinder. I'm going to go with the gimbaled beam laser, and I'm going to go with the multi-cannon, gimbal multi-cannon. I think I'll speak for both of us here, Mike, where that's one of our favourite weapons, isn't it? The gimbaled.
Yeah, I like the multi-cannon.
Yeah.
It's not the most effective weapon, but I just love the sound of it and the way it just chews things to bits.
Yeah, I love when you get rid of the shields and you get down to the hull. The multi-cannon can be something else. So let's exit for now. Let's go and make sure that I've got those assigned to some fire groups. So let's put them both on fire group 1 and on my main fire button. And let's launch. Let's go back into the action. I'm going to head over to the combat bond area now. There's a capital ship that's in distress and it's being attacked by pirates. So again, I'm making another choice in the game from pirating to mercenary and see if that's any more profitable for me, which hopefully with my new armament it should be.
So we have a question about how do you gain those contacts. So at the very start of the game you'd be given in the area that you start in some sort of very low level contacts that at least get you started. Missions will be the other good source of generating new contacts for you to get to know. And there is some discussion, although it's not finalised yet, so I probably shouldn't say it, but what the hell, of being able to introduce contacts between players, but we'll see.
Some bits for you there. So we're just jumping now to the combat bond area. So like I was saying before, the capital ship is in distress and it's looking for mercenaries like my good self to come along and help take out some of the pirates. So that's what I'm going to go and do now. While we load in, why don't we take some more questions from the various forums and Facebook?
Yes, so okay. So scanning down through my list. So we have a question here from Crayfish. How is the economy model coming along? Are we likely to see NPC trading ships travelling between stations in the beta? And if so, will the trading activities of these ships affect the stock market prices on the space stations? Okay, so there's two things there really. So The economy model is driven by two factors. One, we have a background simulation that on a tick that we haven't quite determined yet basically processes the supply and demand for that particular market. On top of that, we have the players trading, and they have an additional weighted effect on what happens. So for example, if you go around blowing up all the trading ships leaving a system, you knock out their trade. Sorry, I just saw something on the feed that made me laugh. So where was I? Oh yes. So yes, we weight the effect that players can have on the system, as we do want to make sure that players can feel like they're influencing the world around you. It's not an executive control game in the sense that you can take over a station and command the station, or take over a capital ship and be in charge of that. But working together or on your own, you are part of the world that is cycling around you. So the other question was about the trading activities of the ships. So we're not modelling the trading activity on that level, it's done the other way around. So the economy basically generates the traffic applicable to what that economy's level is. So that kind of generates what you can encounter. So have you got something exciting to show them?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I'm in the thick of it now. So while Mike was answering some of the questions, we've successfully jumped into the combat bond area. The capital ship, Fed capital ship, is giving off 300 credits for every pirate that I managed to hunt down and destroy. So we can see this is the big ship here, and he's taking quite a bit of heavy damage.
So we call this the farming level.
Yeah.
If you're short of money, then you can come and collect some here. Unfortunately, that's not going to be quite so good for you in future iterations. It's a little bit too easy at the moment, so we've put an end to that.
Yeah. So let's just take out this guy here, and let's do some close runs with the Fed ship. I saw a rather interesting video today with a guy performing a home run on the Coriolis station, and previously he had done a rather spectacular trench run on this very capital ship. I'm not going to attempt that one tonight because I don't really fancy failing in front of a live feed, although I did crash last week, if anyone was watching that feed as well. Spectacularly when you all asked me to turn flight assist stuff, which isn't going to happen tonight, by the way.
Do we think Adam should man up?
No, he shouldn't man up, not tonight. I'll do a little cheeky, there you go, that's all you're getting tonight, that's it. So let's take out another guy, and then I'm going to jump back to the starport, because I want to get in my favourite ship in this release, which is the Cobra Mark III. I'm a little bit in love with that ship. It's a beautiful, sleek design. Which is a nice segue to some of the new ships that will be coming in Alpha 4. So those of you on the private backers forum will have seen that we showed the Anaconda. Well, you've seen the Anaconda before, but this is an Anaconda down in one of the big new hangars. Which means that you'll be able to fly the Anaconda. We also have the Eagle, which was a firm favourite from previous games, and the Type 9. So I will finish waffling on that subject and pick some new questions. Okay, so we see on the forums that the formation of the first grade expedition has started. So there's a whole bunch of questions to do with those, so I will try and sweep through those relatively quickly. So the first one is an invite for me to join the expedition. Well, we'll see, although I already have plans for my own expedition, and as I'm the one building the galaxy, I have a little bit of an advantage on that. You wouldn't use that. Well, you would use that.
I would use that advantage to my own needs. So a couple of the other questions. So really, it's about the use of inflatable stations. So the inflatable stations is a concept for quick deployment of space stations. Players won't be able to control those, certainly not for the initial release. But one of the ideas we have is actually large ships that act as stations. So the idea is that we can deploy these at strategic points to allow longer range exploration. So, sorry, page turning time. So yes, stations, you will generally be able to get fuel. You can service ships at them. They won't be destroyable in the same way that the bigger stations are, like the Coriolis already in the alpha. So one of the other questions, this is a big long list of questions from him actually, I don't think we're going to answer all of them. What are the options for in-field maintenance? So the idea there is that we have automatic repair bots and nanotechnology and stuff like that that you can equip exploration ships with, and yes, they will enable you to travel further, but you will need to service at some stage. But part of the plan for the expanding galaxy, and that's the reason why we're so excited about having the galaxy that we can change over time, is that we can keep step with this exploration, so we just keep expanding the known universe outwards. Are you ready?
I'm there, yep. So we've made another successful jump back to Port Zalada, and we're just going to do the docking. So before I've done the docking with yourself on screen, Michael, but this time around I'm going to show everyone my docking skills, if we can call that.
Okay,
I might
so
be cheeky and do a little boost into the bay. How about that?
Adam's about to crash.
Whoa, that was close, but I got in there. There we go. So I've dropped my landing gear already. I already prepare. I do a lot of preparation before I get anywhere near the bay. Sorry, the pad. Bring the speed down. This is a bit of a quicker one. It's not quite as quick as some of the speed docks that I've seen on that you guys have been filming. I think so far it's been about 35 seconds. There's always a bit of a... I'm not sure how far away. Some of you guys are quite close to the station when you start the timer, so I'm not sure if that's allowed or not, but there's no official rules. So let's go to the services of Port Zalada that they offer and go straight to the shipyard. Actually, now that I've got the multi-cannon, let's resupply that, which is actually quite pointless because I'm going to go and change it for the Mark III Cobra.
Alright, so while we're moving elsewhere, I'll answer a few more questions. So we're skipping through the exploration ones because I think we're going to do a bit of a focus on that in a future one. Well, I think I've already answered this one from Mr. Shadowfax. Can you let us know a ballpark figure for how many playable ships there are likely to be when the beta launches? So I think the answer to that question is 5. And that's followed up with a bit of a cheeky question about will we get more of the elegant ships to quieten the Star Citizen, your ships look like cheese crowd. Well, as a fan of cheese, I don't see any particular insult in that. And yes, there'll be all kinds of ships coming soon. You've seen some of the concept art for the passenger ships. So later on in the beta process, when we bring in the passenger gameplay, we'll see some of those ships then. Are we ready to go back to you, or should I keep answering questions?
I'm back on outfitting now, so I've bought my Cobra in the lovely shade of blue, which I just think it's a fantastic looking ship. I like my gimbaled weapons, so I'm going to spend some more money on getting some gimbaled. So I'm going to go for the gimbaled beam laser.
Favourite choice?
Go for the gimbaled. I like to go for a gimbaled pulse laser, but not class 1. We're going to try and fit the biggest classes we can. We have to trade off class of power of weapon to allow the gimbal mount to fit within the hard point. But I'm happy to do that because I'm not the most accurate of shot. So I've got that one. Where's the class?
So I've got a question that keeps coming up. I'm pretty sure it's by the same person, but never mind. Any comms in Alpha 4? So not at this stage, no. There will be various comms being added throughout beta.
And then the last one is, so just to recap there, I've added 2 gimbaled multi-cannons to the underside of the ship. So that means I've got my gimbaled beam laser, my gimbaled pulse laser, and 2 gimbaled multi-cannons. So I think I'm ready to take on those warring factions in contested space. So Let's exit the services.
I hope you'll be on the Imperial side.
We'll see. Maybe is your vote Imperial? Maybe we should ask Twitch. If you guys have a quick vote as to what side I should be on. So let's launch.
Or we could just remember that I'm your boss and you do as you're told.
No, I'm going to open up Twitch. I'm going to take the risk. There we go. So we're just moving up to the doors now. Ooh, we went a little bit high there.
It's not your best launch.
That's not my best. No, that wasn't as clean as I was hoping. But we're through. It's like taking out a brand new car from the showroom. You don't want to scratch it at all. So while I'm making the jump, why don't we go through a few more questions?
Somebody's suggesting that we join the Jedi side. I think they've come to the wrong Twitch channel. Okay, so we're on to Facebook questions now. So from Rick Hibberts, is hyperspace going to be seamless? And if it is, will it be time relative in reaching the various distances? So certainly the intention long term is to make it seamless, and I think we'll be pretty much most of the way for Alpha 4 and certainly into Beta. The length of the sequence is determined by a couple of factors, but one of them is actually gameplay in the sense that you can buy jump drives that actually process the jumps quicker. So we want there to be some advantages for investing in the bigger jump engines and stuff like that. On to our second question. This is from Matthew Johnson. There was an option during Kickstarter to start out an Imperial world with an Imperial Eagle Mark III, and recently it was revealed that the Eagle will now be a Federation ship. So will there be plans for an Imperial version of the Eagle, or will the starting option have a different ship? At the moment it will probably just have the Federation Eagle, but I think we'll need to investigate that a bit further. Because you're right, it's not an Imperial ship.
Okay,
and,
so
switching back.
I'm back in. I'm in the contested space. I haven't chosen a side yet. I'm not sure what the chat on
it's Imperial.
Twitch is. Okay, I'm going to take that. So here we go. Let's take out some better. Oh, let's not go after the
Come on,
Anaconda.
it's only an Anaconda.
Maybe that could be the finale to tonight's Twitch. Let's go after another Cobra. I haven't set.
So actually, that's one of my reasons for playing the Empire in this particular scenario, is that you get more money for killing the Cobras than you do the Sidewinders.
That's true, yeah, so it does make a bit more of an economical sense to make it as profitable as you can to choose a side. Oh, that's the Anaconda. Let's stay away from him for now. Let's actually try and get a kill, because someone else just stole it from the other side. There's a Cobra. Let's go after that. Cobra versus Cobra. Put all my power to my weapons, because I've got some pretty power-hungry weapons here with the beam laser and the pulse laser as well. Got a little, the Anaconda on our side there. He's being attacked by the turrets of the.
So we have a question come up about how long Beta will be. So at the moment, our history, I can't really provide an exact answer for that. But I certainly know that it's going to be an extended process. We've still got quite a lot that we want to go through, and there's a lot of feedback to be had from you guys, which so far has been proving pretty useful.
Yes, it's very good.
So we want to carry on taking advantage of that for a bit longer.
Yeah, fantastic.
So there was another question about, are all the systems in Alpha 4 independent? No, we have a couple of Federation worlds, independent world, and there's an Anarchy as well. So up until now you've been playing in Zelada and the related systems. The systems have actually been moved, so they're now centered around a system called Iranan, which is near Ibutis and